Yeah, good morning. This is Bang Bang Rail. Just a little podcast this morning. It is a little one. What happens? Mate of mine came over yesterday. We was talking about fights, like boxing and all that fighting. And he was sort of saying to me, who was the hardest person that hit you on the chin, mate? But come on, I've had a lot of fights, amateur, none as pro, but as training with professionals, and nearly there to turn pro, but lost it all because of what I got nicked for. But yeah, I was prize fighting. Let's have a look. I sparred with Roy Shaw. He could bang. Roy Shaw could bang, but he didn't bang like to knock you off, to knock you out. You know what I mean? It was a hard punch. Hurt me. Lenny, he had a bang on him. Lenny, Lenny McLean. He could bang, but the same as Roy. Really, when he hit you on the chin, I'm on about when he weighed about 16, 17 stone. When he got to 23 stone, 24 stone, it's a little bit different, you know what I mean? But when he was 17.5 stone, same weight as me, around about that same weight, he hit me on the chin. He could hurt me, but it wasn't something that really done you. Then I sparred with a guy called Lloyd of Waltham down in Thomas of Beckett, 16-ounce gloves. Mate, he hit me on the chin. He put me on the floor, and he gave me a concussion. So that was maybe one of the hardest punches I've ever had in fights, because that is 16-ounce gloves as well, and give me a concussion and put me on the floor. There's a couple of more that I've fought with. I mean, Kevin Paddock. He was. Fucking hell. He hit you 4 or 5 times before you know before what happens. I mean, you didn't really realise it was one punch. It could be 10 punches in a matter of seconds, you know what I mean? So, Kevin Paddock could bang. Yes, he could bang. He put it together and he could bang, yeah? A very hard puncher. Sid Paddock, his brother, heavyweight. Sid was a natural heavyweight, Sid. Kevin was a middleweight, but Sid was a natural heavyweight. But Sid could bang. I mean, me and Sid, I think we went 8-10 rounds, and he could bang, Sid. I mean, he rocked me a few times, and yeah, he could bang. He could bang, yeah. And rest in peace, Sid. But good fighter. Cliff Fields. I mean, me and Cliff Fields used to fuck about sparring. And we had a fight at the Caswest of Streatham. Cliff could fight, mate. Cliff could hit you. You could hit Cliff Fields with a sledgehammer and he'd keep coming forward. He's one of the fighters you could keep coming forward all the time, bang, 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 and you're in trouble with Cliff, you know what I mean? If he hits you, he ain't going to let go until he knocks you over. He hit me a few times on the chin, rocked me a bit, and I rocked him a little bit too. It never really... I mean, he was a good puncher, Cliff Fields. I mean, don't forget, he beat Lenny. He knocked Lenny all around the gaff, put him through the ropes and everything. So he can bang, Cliff Fields. You know what I mean? He never really banged me that hard. Perhaps I was too cunning to get out of the way of it, and but he still hurt me, Cliff. He still hurt me. Colin Cracknell from the fruit market. When we used to go toe to toe, bare knuckle fights in the market, Colin could fucking bang. I mean, when I had a fight with Colin at Acton Town Hall, he hit me on the chin and he rocked me. Yeah, he really rocked me, and it looked like he was going to bowl me over. But it's my own show, so I had to show a bit of authority, and I nutted him all around the ring. It's a bit out of order. It's a bit wrong to do that, but Colin hurt me. Colin, good fighter. Colin banged me on the chin, and he hurt me, mate. He hurt me big time. There's been my brother Keith. My brother Keith could. I remember when we was kids, he could bang. My brother Keith, another good banger. My young brother Bobby. He sparred with me a few times. Bobby, he could bang. He couldn't do nothing else but bang, and I loved him to death. I love everybody. I fought some good. I fought a guy called Harry Early. Yeah. I forget, it was Paddington somewhere, and Harry Early was the tallest heavyweight in Great Britain at that time. I think it was 6'10", nearly 7 foot. Me and him, I knocked him out in the first round. I caught him with a peekaboo left hook. I was good at the old peekaboo, left bump, put him on his arse, rushed over, hit him on the chin, knocked him out. But he did hit me with a fucking right hand, and it rocked me, yeah? It rocked me. Harry Early. Another one, Howard James. Forgot about Howard James. Howard James, I mean, he was George Foreman's sparring partner for when they fought Clay, I think it was. I'm not quite sure, but he was George Foreman's sparring partner. He come over here, changed his name, Howard James. He was another name in America. Come over here, turned pro, amateur. Was knocking, I'm on about knocking all the amateurs out. He was knocking them all over. He was bashing them all up, yeah. And anyway, I got in the ring with him because I was knocking everybody over too. And I think it went about 2 rounds. I hit him with a cracking peekaboo left hook, and you know, and it really it put him on his back a little bit. You know, it didn't go down it didn't go on his back, but it put him on his back. He went back. You know, he got it. And after that, mate, oh fuck me, he whacked me with a right hand on my eye, split my eye right open. You know what I mean? And put me on my arse. Yeah, he could bang. Howard James could bang. He was no fool, mate. He could bang. I like Howard James. We had a good talk after, me and him, and he reckons he's never been hit so hard by anybody like me. I mean, I hit him fucking really hard, you know. I did put him on his arse. That's right, I did put him on his arse in the first round, right at the end of the round, and I did. And he had it was his the guy in the corner was oh fuck me, a well-known trainer, and he said to me, Ray, he said that's one of the best left hooks I've seen. Peekaboo left hook. I think it was a Floyd Patterson left hook, peekaboo left hook, and it was like, what's his? I forget. You know, I'm like fucking names. It's terrible. And we was just going on about people that can bang. I mean, one of the best bangers, believe it or not, that I've ever been hit by was Jimmy Tippett. Not Jimmy Tibbs, Jimmy Tippett, who used to train me. Fucking hell, man. He used to muck about with me with gloves on, yeah, and bang me in the ribs. You know, muck about, and I'd say, leave off, mate. Stop playing games. Stop throwing punches. And he used to hurt me, mate. And then, I mean, really hurt me. A couple of times he's missed me and hit me on the chin. Rocked my boat, mate. Jimmy rocked my boat. Good. I mean, Jimmy was like one of the best punchers that I've ever known. Jimmy Tippett. I miss him, mate. You know, rest in peace, Neil Mucker. But I miss Jimmy Tippett. Me and him got together, as I told you before, as enforcers. He taught me a lot about enforcement work, and when me and him went into one, we went into one, and then we got hold of Cliff Fields. Cliff Fields was with us on a few enforcers, done quite a bit of bad work. No one messed with us really. I mean, I mean, I remember going down. What's his name? Fucking hell, man. Sorry about this. I do apologise. I get a bit mucked up, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'll get it come back to me in a second, yeah. And it was at Lingfield. It was Johnny Critterton, the gypsy. He's the king of the gypsies, Johnny Critterton. And we went down there one day, me, Cliff Fields, and Jimmy Tippett, to go and see him about Johnny Critterton about some money that was owed for some people. And John had one eye, but he was talking about white boy, hey, can. And he was the king of the gypsies. The guy was he was minted, absolutely minted. And I remember, I forgot, like, because he comes back to you, then off the wall, you know what I mean? And you've had a few bangs on the chin and all this, that, and the other. I remember Johnny Critterton when he took us on the ground stadium. He had a ground stadium in his front garden, a full-size ground stadium in his front garden. How about that, mate? That's crazy. And he pulled it down when his little niece she drowned in the lake that goes round the outside of it. It's only shallow, but she drowned in it, yeah. So he pulled it all down, smashed everything, went crazy, and smashed all the swimming pools up and everything. He just went mad after that, you know what I mean? But I don't suppose you can blame him, really. You know what I mean? But anyway, when I went down to Cliff and Jimmy, he had in one of the ground what's the name, places where big kennels where he kept them. This is where he used to torture people, believe it or not. You know what I mean? It was terrible. And we think I'll be cut. Well, it's all going to come out one day. And mate, we went in there. He was on a bag. Me and Cliff was on a bag, mucking about. All of a sudden, John said, "Why don't you try a little bit of a spar out in the ground stadium?" This is memories, man. It's like it come back because, like, you know, I'm like very forgetful, you know. But when people start rocking my memories, it comes back again, yeah. And so Cliff said, "Come on in." I went, "Nah, fuck that." You know what I mean? Come on. I was street fighting. I was fighting. I've had about, well, I don't know. I've had about 15 fights. I think I won every one of them. Knocked them out first, second round. So I ain't mucking about. I was bowling them over. Cliff was like about a giant, you know, a big man to me, you know, big man, big, powerful man. I said, "Come on in, we get out there and have a little muck about, mate." And lucky, I mean, there wasn't no ropes or nothing. It was just in the field. Jimmy Tippett was watching, and it was good. Johnny Crichton was watching, and a couple of other people was there. And me and Cliff had a little spar around. Cliff taught me a few things, turning people around, hitting them and all that game. And, you know, I'd already been sparring with Joe Bugner, and Billy Head at the Noble Light, Aberstock Hill. And, you know, and so I knew what I was on the Wellington Highgate with Georgie Francis and Mickey Duff. So I knew my game, you know, Cliff, he sort of pulled me about, woo, woo, and he like that. Everything he throws, woo, woo, woo. He's very slow, you know what I mean, but very powerful, you know. And he come in and went, what, bang! I hit him in a right uppercut, hit him on the chin, you know, and he rocked to a bit. I went, oh, hold up, you know what I mean. But I didn't mean to like start a big row, you know what I mean. But for Cliff Fields, bang. He could bang, mate, and when he hit you on the chin, you knew. And me and him had a good 5 rounds in there, you know. I wish Johnny Crichton today was alive to tell you about it. I wish Jimmy Tippett was alive to tell you about it. There must have been a few people there that could tell you about it, travellers that was there watching the fight, you know, and it was good. 4 or 5 rounds. Mucking about. It didn't go 3 rounds. It didn't go like 3-minute rounds. Maybe a minute a round or whatever. But it was nice. You know what I mean? Walking around with him, throwing punches, and he had a big pair of army boots on and a pair of trousers. Me too. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, and yeah, it was good. I say he did hit me on the chin a couple of times. 16 ounce clubs. You know what I mean? So if that had been little gloves, I'd have been bowled over without a shadow of a doubt. But Cliff Fields, yes. Cliff Fields could bang. There's been lots of Brian Hall. One of the first fights I've ever had with Brian Hall down at the Rainbow, Tottenham. Me and him, I think we went 8 to 10 rounds. He could bang Brian Hall. Brian Hall could bang. He banged me a few times. He hurt me, rocked me, but Brian Hall. I mean, I hit him lots of times. I could jab. My jab's like a right hand. Believe me, you get, you know, my jab. I have very strong shoulders. Bang! And I hit him through. I smashed his face to pieces. It's on a video called Box On. You'll see him get out of the ring as the first one you actually see on Box On. That's what I done in Brian Hall. I smashed his face up terrible, yeah. But it became a draw. That was the time when I jumped out of the ring. Lenny sort of like said to me, "You should have knocked him out. I'd have nicked him out. I'd have killed him." That's the time me and Lenny had words. And after that, me and Lenny got in the ring, at the ring, and in Vic Andretti's pub, and we had a few rounds, me and Lenny, and Frankie Walton was there, and I'm not surprised that no one's got hold of Frankie and sort of asked him about that. But anyway, but me and Lenny had quite a few rounds in there, and I respected Lenny. As a fighter. You know, and he was a fighter. He had a lot of people behind him, but there's a lot of people that beat Lenny, they're not talking about. And rest in peace, Lenny. Bet I wouldn't slag him down and nothing like that, because you couldn't slag him down. He's a proper man. He'd kill you. You know what I mean? He could fight. He could fight, and so could I. I could fight. I wasn't frightened of any man. Any man. I've just Lou Yates. I never really heard of him before. Only since he's come on. He's come on the podcast. I've never really heard of him. You know. I know he was a good fighter. I know he was a good fighter from what he's saying now about Roy Shaw and all that, and other people. But as I say, I never really heard of him. He come from up north to come down here and roll clubs. You've got to be a bit near the mark to do that. You know what I mean? But as far as anything else, I've never really heard of him. You know, I mean, I didn't come out of prison till end of 78, 79. You know, and so that was I mean, 79 was the time that I really got into this illegal fights, prize fights, and all that game. And I was a bit near the mark, mate. I've got to say, I can have a fight, you know, and I can bang a left hand, a right hand. I can fucking bang hard, really bang hard. You know what I mean? I'm not mucking about. I can really bang hard. A lot of people that have sparred with me, a lot of people been on the pads with me, say that I really can bang, and I know that, you know. And you know, if you're sparring with people like Joe Bugner and Billy Ed, and you're going down the Wellington Highgate with Mickey Duff and Harry Levine and all that little firm, and you're sparring around there, you know, you've got to be a bit of a proper fighter for them to want you to turn pro. You know, I was a silly fool that I never. Perhaps if I'd have turned pro, maybe I'd have been British European champion. I don't know. You had John L. Gardner around at the same time as I was around. Good fighter, John. Paul McDermott. Is it Paul McDermott? McDermott. I think it's Paul McDermott. His name is, or something like McDermott. McDermott was stopped me in the first round. He was a southpaw. He was knocking everybody over. He hit me in a couple of seconds of the first round, knocked me over, McDermott, and then they stopped it. They should have stopped it. It was a southpaw. I've never sparred with a southpaw before at that time. Well, little bits, but not you know. And he threw a left hander and crash and knocked me to the floor. The refs in them days, fucking useless as an amateur, stopped it. Cut me eye underneath for the first punch. Ref stopped it. He shouldn't have stopped it. Couldn't get a fight back with McDermott, and McDermott he turned pro. I've never really followed McDermott. I'm not quite sure he became British champion. I'm not quite sure. More about people out there would know. But as I say, John O'Gardner was the same as me. John O'Gardner got really spoiled. I mean, he was really a spoiled fighter. He had everybody behind him. He had so many people that was looking after him. And he never had to work. He never had to do nothing like that. You know, sponsors. That's what fighting's about, sponsorship. If you've got good sponsorship, you go forward. You know, you don't have to work all the time. All you're doing is training, sparring, bag work, pad work, skipping. The most important part is your floor work. Without your abs and your bleats and all them sort of things, you're no one. You know, that's why I respect Marvin Herbert. He's got fantastic abs. He does sit-ups, like thousands of them per day. His abs are like a rock. They are like rock, you know. I mean, that is a sort of, you know, maybe that's, as a fighter, that's too much, you know. It's too much, you got to be a bit, it's too much, you know. But he's he does floor work. If people to follow his floor work, you get nice abs, you know. You get your abs. So follow Marvin Herbert's workout, the workout he does with his abs. It's about the only thing he don't talk when he's training. He don't talk as much as he talks when he's doing a podcast. He talks too much, drives people mad. But other than that, he's a good trainer. And I hold my hands up to Marvin. He's a good work. He works out really well when he works out. Yeah, fantastic, Marvin. Keep going, mate. And people give him my regards. Yeah, I mean, I love my fights. I love my fighting. Shame really that I got into armed robberies, you know, and violence and working with big companies and all that sort of thing, and left all the boxing out of it. Money was more important than me than anything else, and that's a shame, because what we do, we always think of that day. We never think of the days in front of us. Yeah, and everybody I know that's had money, they ain't no longer got it. It's been took from him by the government, by custom excise, by a robbery squad, all sorts of things. They take your money, mate. You live like a king. We all I lived like a king for what, 10 years. Had everything I wanted. I was working with the best people in the world. My best mate was Mickey Gooch, and my best pal ever. I mean, he see what I can do. He's seen me throw right-handers, Mick. He's seen me knock people out. He's seen me bowl people over in the Browns and Pal Joe's, Fidenzis and all them clubs. He knows what I'm like. Listen, I ain't got to big myself up. I ain't got to big myself up. I am who I am. I'm Roy Hill. I can have a right fight, you know, and people know that, you know. A lot of people on the podcast, on the comments, say this, that, and the other, and obviously say they don't really know me, but I respect them for their comments, and I try to reply to their comments, even they're running me down. I reply to them. They don't know me, and that's it. You know, I don't pop anybody off on the comments. I give them as much respect as I ever can, even if they don't give me no respect. I'll give them no respect, yeah, because they don't know me. People out there that know me for years and years, fighters, normal people. I mean, my best mate out there. I mean, I've got some good people out there, you know. I'm not talking about my mate Terry. Terry looks after me. Terry's the greatest person in the world you could ever wish to be in with. He's my pal, mate, and he'll always be my mate, and I'll always look after him. Or I don't need to look after him. He's a bit of an animal for himself, as happens, you know what I mean? He trains every day. He's very, very powerful. He don't abuse anybody. He can do, but he doesn't. He's a nice guy, and I'm with him quite a lot, yeah. My mate Jamie Bennett, he's one of the only guys with Alex Jones who really know me, you know. And they've been with me long time, Alex and and Jamie. Let me tell you, I've forgot one person about who can fight. Alex Jones, fuck me. Alex Jones could bang. I think Alex Jones is the hardest banger that I've ever known. Alex Jones can bang. You get hit with a left hook by Alex Jones, you're in trouble. You're seeing the floor in about a split of half a second. He's smashing you, mate. He's hitting you on the chin, and you're hitting that floor. Alex Jones, he can bang, mate. He's about the hardest guy that I know, and you know, there's no one. He doesn't have to be flash. He doesn't put himself about. He is what he is, and you don't want to bump into him at the wrong time because you will get hurt. Yeah, Alex Jones from Paddington. I love him to death. He's my best mate. Well, one of my best mates, you know. And he's always there for me, same as Jamie Bennett. Jamie Bennett's always there for me. Jamie Bennett is younger than me, but always puts me right because I'm a little bit slow, you know. I am slow in lots of things. I mean, you know, I've been in my life. I've nearly been killed a couple of times, but I've nearly been killed in prison. Prison's the worst place in the world to be killed because you can't cry out to no one. All you're crying out to is the prison officers. And they don't give them monkeys what happens to you. If they kill you, they kill you. There's no one to talk. There's no one, just them. There's no one else there, just them. And if you die, you die. You die under circumstances that they make up. So the greatest thing in the world, when you go in prison, it's all right being Jack the Lad. I don't think it's so bad as what it was in them days. In the 60s and 70s, it was bad in them days. You could go missing in seconds. In seconds, you could go missing and it'll be found again, and you're brown bread. You've chopped yourself, you killed yourself, you fell down the stairs, or you fell down a toilet hole, or whatever, mate. It's whatever it is. So you're lucky today that prisons, they're still bad. They're still bad. I've seen people in Brixton coming back from court, crying their eyes open when they've got to go back down the block and the screws are jabbing them up. I mean, you've got to understand, yeah, that we're just nothing. We're in prison, we're just nothing. We're just that one person because no one really stands behind you, maybe a couple, yeah? So when you see these people hurting someone, jabbing them up and bashing them up, you want to get in and fucking kill them. You want to kill the screws, you want to kill them. you want to bash them up, but they're outnumbered, mate. And you get involved, you're going to be the next one jabbed up, you're going to be the next one in trouble. And if they get you down that block, you're in trouble, you're going to get smashed to pieces. These people ain't human, mate. These people ain't human. They do a job, they do a good job. To run a prison is not easy, but they take the piss, they take liberties with people, and that is what they do. That is what they do. I've met a couple of good screws in there, people that give me good jobs, looked after me when I've been in prison. Screws that give me good jobs, you know, jobs that you never think you're going to get, and you get, yeah. When they put me in the drugs unit and a convict, there were some good screws in there, mate. You know what I mean? Not screws that give you anything, not good screws that give you drugs and all that sort of shit, but good screws. And you knew that it was around them, talks about your weights and all that, and you know, and training, and give you bits of food, better food, and you know, and that's what it was. You got more food, and they got good conversation, and bringing magazines in here showing you about bodybuilding and weights and all that, you know. Mr. Hart, I think his name was Gerald Hart. I met him years ago, years ago, yeah. In the block, in the scrubs. Man was Mr. Universe, black guy, fucking gentleman, mate. Gentleman. He had me doing all sorts of press ups, but had me doing it the right way, and showed me what it's all about, you know, how to work out. I learnt a lot from him. Thank you very much. I think he's dead now. He must be dead because you know, he must be dead. If he ain't, he's still looks the part, I should imagine. I met some big people in prison, you know, and anyway, and some good fighters in prison. I mean, people in prison, mate. Listen, there's some good fighters in prison. There's some really good fighters in prison, mate. You know, Billy Williams, me and Bill, very close, me and Bill. Bill could have a right fight. I mean, a lot of people, Canning Town, a lot of people know Billy Williams. He was a hard man. He went to America to go over there and fight over there. I mean, he should have stayed over there. He was the first class fighter. He was one of the best. I think he was, I'm not quite sure, about light heavyweight, like something like that, Bill. And fucking bang. He could bang. I see him in the scrubs and in Wandsworth. I was in both prisons with him when he hit people on the chin and they